welcome to the Whiskey Witch. Tonight we are tasting 3 Heaven Hill bottled in bond bottom shelf beauties. All are $15 or under, readily available throughout the United States, and will not break your budget. Bottled in bond means that all of these were made at a single distillery by one distiller during one distillation season and aged for a minimum of 4 years in a supervised and bonded U.S. warehouse and bottled at 100 proof. Tonight we are trying JTS Brown, J.W. Dant, and Evan Williams. I'm going to taste all of these blind, mixing all the glasses up. I have no idea what is in them. I will say the mash bill on all of these is exactly the same. They are all 78% corn, 10% rye, and 12% malted barley, which is going to make this a little tough. And all at about the same price point, and all with wonderful skirt caps. We get no pop from these bottles. All right, let's get into it. All right, so the one really cool thing about this bottle, this JTS Brown, is that its claim to fame is Paul Newman in the movie The Hustler. And that's one of the reasons I picked it. I actually have not had this before, believe it or not. So I'm pretty excited to try all of these in a blind. All right, let's get into the first. As you can see, the color is a nice amber. Getting a few thin legs in the glass. Number 2, and it's coating the glass fairly well. Number 3, let's swirl it and give it a look. Not too much going on in this one. All right, let's nose number 1, or what I don't know what is number 1. All right, so I'm getting a little bit of that Heaven Hill peanut. Getting some pepper, some spice, your normal bourbon notes. I'm not getting a ton of oak on the nose. Getting your vanilla caramel, definitely very sweet. Pretty delicious nose, actually. And number 2, I'm getting a little more spice on the nose with this one, maybe a little bit of clove. Not really getting that Heaven Hill peanut on this one. A little bit of sweet corn, caramel, vanilla, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of orange zest on this one. Number 3. Definitely getting some of the Heaven Hill peanut on this. Corn. A little bit of caramel, not any oak really to speak of. Vanillas. A little bit of cinnamon, maybe a little bit of clove. All right, well, let's get into number 1. Skull. So number 1 is really sweet. I'm getting fairly young corn, caramel, vanilla, lots and lots of vanilla. A little bit of cinnamon. Not really getting the peanut I had on the nose. It's just a good, solid bourbon. Number 2. A lot more pepper, a lot more spice. It's just got a lot more punch. It's tastes like 100 proof. This is not necessarily, to me, screaming I'm 100 proof. This is a lot more well-rounded to me. I'm just getting a lot of the flavors I picked up on the nose. just a lot more there. And I think with this one, it's going to hold up well in a cocktail with this kind of price point. This is going to be the kind of bourbon that people won't necessarily drink neat. They're going to have it on the rocks. They're going to have it as a mixer. They're going to make an old fashioned or a Manhattan with it. This one seems to me like it's going to hold up in a cocktail. All right, let's get into number 3. Number 3, to me, is a little more astringent. It's still got some of that pepper, no oak whatsoever. It's kind of falling flat for me. It fell off at the end. I didn't speak about finish too much on these two. The finish on this one is pretty decent. This one, it just completely fell off. All right, so what I'm going to do, because most people are going to probably mix these, is I have some old limestone mixing water that my friend Michael Nye gave me. It's from Kentucky. It's obviously limestone water. And I add a few drops to each one of these, and we'll see what happens. Just add a few drops here, a few drops here, a few drops here. All right, let's get into it. Swirl those around, let them open up. All right, number 1 again. It notched it down. I'm not getting as much on the nose as I was before I added the water. Let's try number 2 on the nose. Oh, number 2 is still there. I'm still getting all of that wonderful, just screams bourbon, spice, caramel, vanilla, a little bit of oak. It didn't really kick it down where I think adding this water, it's going to hold up in a cocktail. Number 3 is disappeared. There's not a whole lot left on the nose after the water. All right, let's taste them. There's no finish left. All right, so still delicious. Still your classic bourbon flavors. It's still very sweet. Don't know what this is yet. But I would keep it. I don't think this is going to be work too well as a mixer because it's just knocked it down too far. Let's get into number 2. Number 2 held up. I'm still getting that wonderful spice. I'm getting that little kick from the rye. I'm getting the cinnamons and the sugars and the sweet corn and vanilla, and everything that you love about bourbon is still holding up in number 2. So whatever this is, I think you can add this to an ice cube, add a little water, mix it up in an old fashioned, however you like to drink your bourbon. I think this one's going to hold up. Let's get into number 3. Number 3, there's no finish left. This one is kind of falling flat on its face with the water. Try this again. Still getting a little bit of that Heaven Hill peanut to it. No oak. Little, the sugars, vanillas, the caramels, but it's all like pushed way back after I added that water. I'm going to put this one out there. All right, I'm going to go back between 1 and 2 now. Oh, the nose on this one. This one's just holding up better. Seems a little more complex. And mind you, all of these are 78% corn. 10% rye, and 12% malted barley. They are the exact same mash bill. Go for another sip. This one's just falling off. Not as badly as this one did. Let's try number 2. I'm getting that Kentucky hug. It's got a great mouthfeel. It's got a great finish. I don't know what this is, but I would have to say that if I was to rank these, they're going to be 1, 2, 3. Big reveal. Let's find out what number 1 is. Number 1 is number 1. The JTS Brown. Never had it before. I know that this is a favorite of a lot of people and they hope the secret doesn't get out, but the secret is now out. I think I paid $10 for this. I would buy this again. This is fantastic. Number 2, let's see what this is. Number 2 is number 3, which is your Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. That is old staple. It's been around forever. I've had it before. Good solid bourbon. Not quite holding up to JTS Brown. And obviously in third place is the JW Dan. This was a whole lot of fun. Please hit your like and subscribe button and watch us next time on Whiskey Witch.